All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast, NBA podcast. My name is Keith, here once again with my buddy Chuck.
Hey now.
And John will be here soon.
He's en route.
John's on his way. Chuck was just trying to attach a David Fizdale magnet, the Fizz, to his
magnet.
MacBook.
I wanted to go there.
I don't know much about computers, but I think maybe you shouldn't put magnets on them.
It's a light magnet.
I don't know if it's like a pacemaker. You don't want to
I'd
put a
throw
magnet
this
near a
thing-
pacemaker?
Yeah, I think magnets wipe hard drives. I saw a Magruder.
A MacGruber?
Yeah,
Was that a MacGruber?
I almost said MacGyver.
Oh.
They used a magnet, to wipe out a hard drive. I saw it once.
Yeah.
I swear, so it's true.
I don't know if that's something you saw when you were watching. Oh, my mind just blanked.
What was I watching?
It's like we were talking about, the Net.
Oh, the
Last
Net.
week or 2 weeks, you were talking about
Ooh.
watching the Net with Dennis Miller and Sandra Bullock.
I backed it up back to back. Sandra Bullock's. I did Demolition Man the next week.
Yeah.
And she's incredible in that movie. She says some really ridiculous things out of ignorance. Demolition Man's such a great film because he only gets frozen for like 15 years and the whole world
everything,
is upside down and better, which I don't get.
I feel like Back to the Future, the 30 years felt somewhat realistic.
Right. There was like, it had
Blade
enough
Runner,
time.
same thing.
Right.
I think we're in Blade Runner. I think Blade Runner's 2019.
I've never seen it.
That's right. We've
talked
covered
about
that.
it.
So here's a little known thing. Most people don't know this. If you want to erase your internet search history, you just hold a magnet up to your modem. Just on the router.
Just put it right there.
You got a modem router. You just rub a magnet on there.
Look who it is!
John Burr is here,
Johnny Boy
wearing
Burr.
the Fletch Los Angeles Lakers jersey.
Lakers
Don't
jersey.
tell me.
Breaking news, Woj bomb.
Yeah.
Fletch.
Fletch is signed. He's going to play power forward.
I've not
Behind
showered.
Anthony
I've not
Davis.
been home. I slept in a bed with another man last night.
As you do.
So, John,
Just don't show me your
John, have you
armpits.
just returned from this
Yes.
writers' weekend at Fall Creek Falls that you called in from?
Let's call it a writer's weekend. Let's call a spade, a deplorable, poor, divorced, sad, poor man's version of Burning Man. Is what I
Sounds like my
was just
kind
kind
of
of.
jam.
Oh, it's
Chuck.
total like Chuck. Like these guys
Chuck eyes
were married.
lit
This
up.
is just like when Chuck got divorced. These guys are all married. I didn't think about this when I took this assignment from my publisher.
From Nick
These-
Fury.
These guys. Let's be real. Songwriters are, by and large, somehow a combination of being washed up and never was at the same time. Bunch of guys who almost had success musically. Hey,
Hi, John.
and then now are trying to leech off of the youth
Ooh.
via their friends who also got out of music and got into publishing.
This is an insight to the Nashville music industry writ large.
So
that
I
love.
decided to take this networking trip where supposedly we're going to write songs. I just watched other people do all manner of drug
Yeah.
for 4 days. One song was written, and I think I was hazed for it. Don't know if the song was bad or if people were just mad
that you did work.
that I did stuff. Cops were called.
Good.
Search parties were launched.
Cops were called at this. Weren't you at this like a state park or something?
Yeah.
Or
I assume you were
Fall
remote.
Creek Falls.
Remote location?
It is
Well,
a state
there
park.
were
Is there-
two guys got in a fight, and one of them never emerged from the woods.
Did he ever come back?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was worried about him.
But, so straight here. Honestly, this stuff has been so wild.
There's no way you
I'm
could.
ready for you guys to tell me something that's going to blow my mind. Because I don't know.
mean,
Last I heard was last night Jimmy Butler deal was off.
Everything is blown.
Jimmy
my mind.
Butler's off, but
I'm enjoying
Hassan
this
Whiteside's in
Too
Portland.
much. Yeah, Hassan Whiteside's in Portland.
I mean, this is I don't know. You guys may have already covered this.
No,
This is
haven't.
indeed a
we
paradigm
talked
shift.
about nothing about basketball.
It is.
Yeah.
There's like 50 players that were all-stars that aren't on the same team from a couple years ago.
This is, for all intents, an emergency broadcast.
I have no idea what's going on. I never listened to Dunked On, but I listened to it.
He must be dead.
I was like,
He must be like,
Stop,
Dave.
Nate started the show
Dave.
with an expletive.
right.
What?
A cold open swear.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dead on. And I listened to it. It's a 3-hour marathon. I listened to it at double speed just to get enough information in my brain so I didn't sound stupid.
So if you're a Cap Manifesto dork,
Yeah.
do you just right-click delete spreadsheet?
Yeah, I mean, I got to
Like if you
give
did
credit
your
to the
mock.
guys like Jeff Siegel, which is consecutive show shout-outs for him.
Bugsy.
Patron
Bugsy.
Jeff Siegel.
That's a-
Because his early bird rights, man, he updates it
Yeah.
He updates it when like the Woj bomb breaks.
Boom.
When Nerlens Noel says like, you know what, never mind. I don't think I'm going to take this deal because I am the worst person at free agency ever. So Jeff goes back and then has to correct his spreadsheets that are all up there. But no, it's been a whirlwind. I'm having trouble focusing my mind.
I need to go on like a retreat. I got to like maybe do
No, you don't.
ayahuasca.
People will get in horrible fistfights over why aren't you doing more drugs. The fist fight was one guy didn't think he could do mushrooms because this is a good excuse, as I've heard. As good as excuse as my excuse, didn't want to. His excuse, I'm allergic to mushrooms.
You can't be allergic to mushrooms.
See, that's what jerk number 2 said.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound true, Chuck.
It is very
Why
true.
can't
Well, you can be allergic.
certainly be
you
allergic
can
to-
be allergic to mushrooms. You can't be allergic to fungus because it's in the air. It's everywhere around you. Most of the biomatter that you walk on is fungal. It's everywhere. We breathe, we eat, and it's in most of our food.
Listen, Americans can be allergic to anything they want.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's my point. Is you can't because there's science.
I don't think you're
You
wrong.
can't because science. Breakfast.
I feel like you can be allergic to mushrooms.
Breakfast.
Where you at?
Did you guys have breakfast?
No.
John, you've been driving
No.
in.
No, I didn't either.
No.
Candy. Keith, you'll be happy to know
Love
I
it.
had some candy, some
I had
saltwater
nothing.
taffy.
Oh man, I had nothing. That's why I feel weird.
Yeah, it's
I
not the
feel
free
weird.
agency. It's,
It's
not
not-
the being on Twitter for 20 of the last
refreshing.
I saw so many Chuck
25
tweets.
hours.
Oh man, I didn't know what was going on.
Your tweets I thought were very they emblemized the fan experience very well.
That's it.
My wife was not cool
Oh.
with how much I used just whatever.
Oh, yeah,
Computer,
Twitter.
laptop,
Yeah, yeah.
phone yesterday.
I'm glad my
She was like, "Are you going to
You
tweet all
needed to
day?"
go on a drug retreat.
I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to Vegas for 6 days, John."
yeah, okay, yeah.
She also did some of that. Like, you realize
You're leaving soon.
you're going to be out of town for 6 days. I'm like, it's free agency.
I know it's like the day.
This is Christmas.
Imagine if free agency happened during summer league.
Well, it does.
Kinda does.
it
I mean,
does.
like,
because
right
LeBron
at-
James,
Oh yeah.
Are you guys going to come back?
when he announced
I might not.
that was
Are y'all
day one of
moving to
Summer League,
Vegas?
I might move to.
It was.
Denver.
She was cheered up. She probably went to bed angry. She woke up happy when I was like, "Hey," texted her, "Hey, did you see that Brooke and Robin Lopez are on the same team now?" She was so thrilled.
Oh,
So thrilled.
I told my old lady
She
too.
loves twins more than anything in the NBA.
The Morris twins fascinate my girlfriend so much. She's fascinated by twins in the any athletic like event. Why? How they got
put all
there.
twins on the same team.
Forever.
Well, we're gonna get probably the Morai twins on the minimum in LA.
Ooh.
Still, there's no.
Twin magic.
I mean, we're recording this. It's now 2 p.m. Central on Monday, on July 1st. The Knicks are out of cap space.
Broke.
Kawhi Leonard maybe hasn't even taken a meeting yet.
No.
He's just doing his crossword puzzle.
That's what's funny about all
hanging
this
out.
is like we're like, wow, this is exciting, this is incredible, and then like as soon as Kawhi signs with the Lakers, we're gonna be like, this sucks.
But
This is
isn't it
boring.
People are gonna be
smart-
angry.
Isn't it smart for him to wait to see where the landscape plays out so he knows if he has to make a decision, he isn't 100% all in for Toronto.
I don't.
He has to see
I mean,
where
if he wanted to go somewhere else, I felt like he should have plotted something with someone else.
Yeah.
I feel like he should have worked it out like you, me, hey, Jimmy, you and me, let's go to the Clippers together.
Right.
If he knows he's staying in Toronto, no, he should do nothing. And
Right.
Or like if he has known that he and LeBron were going to end up in Los Angeles this year,
Right.
all this time.
He doesn't seem like
I've never
a guy-
made any big decisions in my entire life, but I feel like if I had to, I would already know what I was doing way before free agency.
I can definitely relate to like, oh, I actually really wanted to go play on the Clippers, but I actually didn't organize me and my buddy coordinating this thing, and I just thought it would take care of itself. And I was watching Netflix, and then it turns out Jimmy Butler announced he's going to Miami. Now I'm all alone. I guess I'll just stay here, in
run it
Toronto.
back. And
Like,
with Jimmy
doing
out
what I was
of,
doing.
I mean, we could talk about
Maybe Jimmy, Who knows?
maybe Jimmy out of Philly.
Not Chuck.
Oh, he's out of Philly, I think.
No, is it official? I don't.
They just
even
can't
know
find
anymore.
a partner, right?
No,
just might
because
be.
you gotta shift money around. They can't trade Richardson for Butler.
I
straight
assume
up.
it's gonna. We will proceed
They
as
could
if,
have,
as
like,
if it's happening.
They
year
need a
ago.
third team. No, I mean stuff like this has happened before, and it doesn't. And we're not guaranteed Jimmy Butler at this point. And now we kind of have, a little bit of wiggle room. And I like getting Myers Leonard and Mo Harkless instead of Whiteside because you can give.
Really? Yeah.
No, I think he works out better for. We need.
A deal
What's,
addition by
what's wild
forward.
is if the Jimmy Butler deal falls apart, now you actually just traded Whiteside for not great salary for next year.
Right.
Like more salary for next year.
No, both of those are expiring. Mo and
Oh, they are?
Yeah, both of those.
That's right.
Harkless
that's right.
and Leonard is expiring.
Excuse me there.
No, it's cool. I just think it gives us a different look, which I've begged for. I literally prayed to Ike Austin for it on Twitter. We get a different team, and it's going to look something at least not familiar in 41 wins and no playoff.
To maintain decorum, my breakfast. I had a breakfast.
What'd you do?
I mean, I'll do a breakfast. I had leftover hot chicken.
Ooh, that's brave in the morning.
Look, I had saltwater taffy.
You had saltwater taffy? Oh, that's nice. No, I went to the. I dropped this in our Patreon Slack. Ordered takeout from big tourist restaurant on a Sunday.
How has our Patreon Slack been during all this? Is
they're
it okay?
hanging in there pretty good.
A
lot of wildness. I gotta say, Sunday night was exciting in there. A lot of people had a great time. I think. I don't feel. Should I feel bad? I know you shouldn't feel bad for enjoying things. I think almost always.
You go Knicks? You go Knicks country?
No, I'm just saying. I enjoyed Sunday for sitting alone by myself, shirking family responsibility, not watching TV or anything, just sitting on the computer watching NBA news roll in, ecstatic, just joy.
That's a decent move.
So I don't know. Anyway,
you're like a day trader.
That gives them joy.
Watching.
Huh, I didn't know.
So.
After our breakfasts, we moved to our breakfast in bed apologies. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong on any previous episode.
So last week I said the Memphis Grizzlies front office was inept for 10 years, and I'm sorry.
I was wrong.
It was like 8.5 years.
It's fine.
It was factually wrong.
8.5 years where the front office couldn't make a draft pick.
The draft picks were always bad.
Always bad. And, I'm not saying they lucked into Marc Gasol.
Well, you said that.
He was trade fodder.
Well, they did.
He was thrown in for his brother.
They did.
They lucked into Marc Gasol.
They signed Tony. They signed Tony Allen to a $3 million deal. He was kind of left over from Boston's.
It was I think the second biggest free agent signing in their team's history up to that point.
But they didn't spend any money on him.
No, it was like $4 million. Yeah.
So I'm not saying that they, in Zebo they traded for Quentin Richardson. It wasn't like a blockbuster trade for him, and those guys coalesced into.
Well, now I agree with Chuck.
This thing, those four players, your core four, were effectively flukes. That the front office
we've said that many times.
Yeah,
it was the plot to Major League.
Right, exactly.
They were trying to be bad and compiled a bunch of.
Hey, but it might be the plot to Major League all over again.
Right, but now here's my the moves the Grizzlies have made have been. I don't know about your takes about Iguodala yet, but I love everything they've done since they put Chris Wallace on meatball duty.
It's been amazing.
Similarly,
it's been
incredible,
unassailable.
My apology is also Grizzlies related because I was doomed. They have turned getting nothing for Marc Gasol into now they have gotten everything for Mike Conley.
Like the
most you could ever
They
imagine.
legit have gotten 3 first-round picks because you have to include that traded player exception is how they took Iguodala in the dying throes of the Warriors empire.
And it used to feel like, oh man, those are Warriors picks. Those will be nothing. But I don't know now.
It's only top. It's only top 4. It's only top 4 protected.
Yeah.
So it's one pick. There's some confusion here.
Yeah.
It's just one pick in 2024, but it's top 4 protected. Steph Curry's 34.
I know.
Like Draymond will be 32, but he'll be dead.
Yeah,
he'll be gone.
I mean, it's a great win for the Grizzlies, and I'm going to say
when Draymond's eligible to get $150 million elsewhere, does he stay on a Warriors team that might not be good anymore? When he could go be like the integral piece to a dynasty type team again?
After they shivved Iguodala in the back,
man.
Does he just retire and count his money somewhere else?
I don't know. I'm hopeful. Everyone's saying like Grizzlies buyout.
I don't know. I'd like.
I would love to have him on the Grizzlies.
He'd be a great locker room presence, a good guy for these young dudes.
The Grizzlies have way too many guys.
I'm so weirded out by Iguodala, Mark Jackson stuff that I don't know how to feel about him.
Right. Yeah. So the Grizzlies now actually have like 17 guys. Our boy Dave DeFore. He dropped a Duff bomb.
Ooh, Duff bomb.
He dropped a Duff bomb that the Grizzlies are signing Marco. I don't know how to say this. Guduric.
That's not a real name.
Guduric. Marco Guduric. Duff dropped that one. That the Grizzlies are going to sign him. So that's another guy on the team.
18 players.
So Avery Bradley's gone.
That's the greatest opening salvo in the history of bombing.
It really is. Well, he also Duff.
Are we sure he's not going to the Mavs?
The Dave DeFore actually broke some of the Nico Mirotic salary.
Yeah.
Because there was
Barcelona
reported
salary.
that it was like 60 or 70 million euros, and that's completely false. And Dave
Keith,
was like,
you
it's
need
like
to
3 or 4
corner the
million.
Filipino Duff Bombs.
Ooh, we need to get
Find out who's leaving for the Philippines.
We need to get
I
an
think it's
ear.
just OJ Mayo.
That's it.
I think he's the only one.
All the pieces fit.
My apology, actually. We are trying not to. I feel like we've been too focused on the Grizzlies recently.
We're off the rails.
But I want to apologize to past Keith.
Oh.
I feel like when we started this podcast in 2014,
Been that long?
You didn't look like this.
actually I looked a lot like this.
You do.
I've actually recycled back to very similar to what I look like.
I think I have more
A lot more
tattoos.
gray in that beard.
Oh
I have a
yeah,
lot more
my
tattoos.
beard's a lot wider.
mine is too.
Residential terms.
If I'd said, "Hey, in 2019, Marc Gasol will have a championship ring, the Grizzlies will have a Finals MVP on their
You
team,"
sick, twisted animal.
I would have lived 5 years just like
Walking on sunshine?
Looper walking on sunshine, thinking
Yeah.
something good was happening.
No.
And I
And
would have
then,
been a little.
and
let
then the
down.
Graybeard version comes back and closes that loop.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So, anyway, those are our breakfast in bed apologies. Before we move to our steak and eggs best thing, we have a single listener submitted question. The croissant questionnaire.
Any questions?
Yes. Are you going to finish that croissant?
Knock yourself out.
That croissant. Finish that croissant. That croissant.
Mike asks, will Steph Curry be the best value bet for 2020 most valuable player?
So here's my
We don't even know what the value. We don't even know what the odds are yet.
right.
But
Here's my theory
Yeah.
of what the Warriors are going to do. I think Steph Curry's going to get a magical injury this year. They're going to shut it down. They're going to get a top 5 pick. And then, can they? Can they get a top? Do they? Have their pick this year?
their pick. Although they're sending a protected pick to Brooklyn too.
Right. Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. No, they do own their draft pick this coming year.
So D'Angelo Russell is a slick tanking move.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's like if you don't have Steph Curry and Clay's out and Draymond, that's a team that's not going to win many games. That I don't think it's as stupid a move to sign Russell. I think he'll be tradable in the future. I think they need to recuperate from these years of finals runs where they've been getting beat up. They watch their best players' joints explode in the finals, and they need to get back, do a semi LeBron
Chuck,
move.
do you remember what the question is?
What is the move? What's the question?
No, you just Chuck was
Is
just
Steph
going.
Curry the best shadow value MVP candidate?
Yeah, that's the point I'm making. No, because he's not going to play.
Oh, so no. So Chuck's saying no.
That's
sort
my
of agree.
scenario.
I sort of agree with Chuck. I think he's going to play, but I do think getting another guard, ball dominant guard, that phrase that we're going to grow to load management,
yeah.
will rear its ugly head with Steph Curry. It'll be similar to Kawhi's year this year.
I mean,
He could be very impactful, very important to that team.
and he's
Very
going to
valuable.
win you a series or two in the playoffs. I think with a decent roster around him, which I think.
I mean,
they're
we're gonna
gonna fill.
have. It's
that
going to be
roster there's nothing.
the
no
the,
defense.
the odds will be
No
like
players.
Yeah.
Giannis 2-1,
Yeah.
Right.
and
Easy.
then I don't know what's next. Is it AD?
Giannis seems like a good bet.
Kawhi.
AD 4-1, Kawhi
Kawhi's-
5 because
if
Kawhi's going to load
he-
manage
If he's healthy,
again.
Depends on where Kawhi is, but the narrative
I
is
mean,
definitely
Harden
shifted.
is still there, still going to do his
Kawhi
thing.
is now the dawn.
Yeah, there's a shift. Yes,
Jokic is
There's
going to
sh-
be a 15-1.
yes, white power vote.
Yeah.
Can't be overlooked.
Can't be. It's been-
Make America
I
great
mean,
again.
2020, the 2020 white power vote.
But yes,
Yeah.
It's real.
But Kawhi,
Gotta ride that
Kawhi's coronation has happened.
Yeah.
I do think that's big. I do think he might be just knighted as MVP whether he plays or not. this
Steph
year.
Curry will Steph Curry be like 12-1?
I mean, he's going to be long
15-1?
I think
odds.
it'd be
long.
I think it'd
odds.
be pretty long.
Yeah.
So
probably
here's the story.
30.
So what people are thinking is that he's going to average 30
30.
points per game on the crazy numbers,
Harden-esque.
but it's going to be awesome if he wins MVP, averaging 35 points per game on like a 45 win team.
Harden's
Daryl Morey will explode.
He'll say,
The Rockets
Twitter
Twitter
account.
account will lose their mind. It'll be falling down. Michael Douglas.
There'll be another tower shooter in Texas.
Yeah, it'll be a full rampage. It will not
Was
be
it
cool.
Charles Whitman?
Yeah, it will not be. It
I
will not be
mean,
okay.
The Rockets Twitter account should be screaming at Daryl Morey. You know, they didn't even get a meeting with Jimmy Butler.
Since we didn't hear about a Rockets Twitter account firing, we have to assume that it is actually Daryl Morey.
They deleted
Yeah.
that tweet.
Did they?
Well, you know that
So
stuff.
salty.
Daryl Morey, he wrote that tweet.
Of
for them.
course.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He is.
There's no way the social media.
It was
account
like he was
people were
drunk.
like,
Because
hey, let's do
that
this.
tweet is followed by, "Oh yeah, don't worry, we fired that guy."
Right.
Or the other possibility, no matter how improbable, when it's the only possibility remaining, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar will tell you this in his book about Moriarty, has to be the solution.
It has to be.
It's Daryl Morey.
It is. He's the problem. He's trying to get D'Antoni fired. He's effectively put everybody who wants to be a Rocket on a trade block, and nobody wants to be there
He
anymore.
did get Austin Rivers back on the minimum.
Swish bomb.
Swish bomb.
That's
Glenn
deep.
Jr.
Anyway.
come back.
So Mike, I don't think it's a great value bet, but I do think in fantasy, I might take him. I
Yeah.
think he's going to be. Is he a lot of points?
I mean,
He'll get
Steph
buckets.
Curry is Steph Curry.
He's
you
gonna
got to.
get
You got.
fantasy.
I mean, you still got to worry about the load management.
right
With that.
when you got to make sure the game time decisions.
How far through the season do we go before we put a moratorium on that phrase, load management? We're going to be so sick of it.
I
we got to
just
come up with a different word.
we probably should just grunt or something.
Pinching it off.
just put in the onions drop.
Onions.
Yeah, so we do that. That'll be a lot of work.
No, don't do it.
No,
Don't do
I'm
it.
not-
Anyway, if you want to submit your own
Need a soundboard.
croissant questionnaire, you do that by becoming a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. You can join the Slack chat, get access to exclusive bonus content, and submit your own questions. So support the show, patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. All right, steak and eggs. What is your steak and eggs best thing?
How bad the Knicks are.
Ding dong, the Knicks are dead. Again, paradigm shift. The notion that there is a destination, that the Knicks are now clearly exposed as a league-wide persona non grata, where people don't go.
Yeah.
I mean, if this doesn't make it as clear as as an azure, it is clear as the coolest Cancun water.
Wow, you did just come back from a writer's retreat.
It is done. The Nets just snagged the two biggest free agents in New York.
I've predicted this for years and years. I said this isn't a guarantee that this Knicks superiority over the fan base in New York City, that New York City basketball fans are convinced that the Nets are garbage and no one ever wants to play for them. And everyone outside of the five boroughs knows that the Knicks are the biggest laughing stock in the NBA.
Have you guys seen this? The most ubiquitous face on the most ubiquitous sports network posting videos of himself sobbing.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen A. Smith
They're amazing.
sobbing
Hi.
over this is a true death knell, like a Marie Antoinette head in the basket moment.
It's
Because
incredible.
we talked about KD to the Knicks last year, and I
So,
thought it was very real.
I always
and
said,
now I have to step back and be like, nope.
who wants to play for a front office like that? And the biggest asset a team can have is good
I
ownership.
mean, they literally
stink.
dragged Charles Oakley out of the Garden and banned him.
Mhm. So now all your
They've
late
banned-
So,
90s
like, the
Knicks fans,
players are against this front office.
They've banned certain
or the owners,
news outlets.
Right. They're having
Right.
trouble with. But here's all right. Much like I felt bad about continuing to point out the Suns' foibles,
right?
I feel pretty bad.
Nope.
Knicks fans somehow, even though they said they weren't getting excited about it, they somehow geared themselves up that, like, even if we don't get Durant, something good will happen.
They lowballed him.
With our $70 million cap space.
Gigantic cap space.
No.
That cap space lasted for 18 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Julius Randle.
They spent all their cap space. They did not get any future assets.
Right.
The Grizzlies got I think, a very valuable 2024 Warriors first-round pick for just using their trade exception. The Knicks could have taken that same first-round pick and accepted Andre Iguodala.
I think grading on a curve, even Keith really likes to refer to the Suns as the worst. I think grading on a curve, you have to say the Knicks, given the assets and the cachet they have to be the worst franchise.
I got another one that I'm gonna pull out in my cream of wheat.
Okay.
But so if you want to paint a rosy picture, if you want to go this is not terrible. This is not what the Knicks did in free agency so far. It isn't overwhelmingly devastating. It's because these contracts that aren't great. The Bobby Portis deal is a mess.
Hilarious.
Taj Gibson
for $10 million over 2. Reggie Bullock, 11.5. I think
those are the only positions that the Knicks have
total
promise at.
Well, so
and they loaded up on them.
But then Wayne Ellington and Elfrid Payton, all of these deals are team option year 2.
Right.
So these are all immensely tradable assets. These are guys that the Lakers would be looking at, and any other team that's going to compete is going to want a Reggie Bullock, going to want a Wayne Ellington. With those team options in years 2, they can flip these guys. But this is, again, painting the rosy picture of what you did. Why not just use your cap space as that weapon to get an asset now? How is the easiest way to get a future asset? By signing a guy and trying to trade him later. This works in video games.
And this was the free agency period to hit. It's not the one where the biggest name is Draymond Green.
Right.
Next year. Or the
and so,
year after
like,
that.
why wouldn't they even stick around, like, keep around? I guess I don't think they still can because they announced him. Like, Noah Vonleh or, like, Luke Cornett, who's on the minimum, who's, like, just a prototypical
Unicron.
Yeah, like blocks shots, hits threes. We don't know if it's going to be any good, but if you're building around this young team, like last year you decided, all right, Mitchell Robinson, he could be our center of the future. We're bringing in RJ Barrett. And then it's like to waste that space, that the opportunity cost of getting rid of that space to use it on Taj Gibson, Julius Randle. Like, John pretty much hates Julius Randle, and
sucks.
I kind of think he's fine.
I think he's good in a
He's
system,
pretty good.
in a fit.
He's
He's
good
good
at
on
offense.
a running
But, like,
team.
spending that much money, I mean, maybe
him.
the Wizards will match Bobby Portis. They probably won't. It seems like.
Don't think
But
so.
spending that much money on guys who are just going to crowd the front court, and then using all the rest on the guys and just okay guys is such a terrible waste. But Chuck, you're just gleeful.
I love it. Well, it is a bit sad because now, like, Alonzo Trier's like buried in the on that depth chart from what I can tell.
I mean, like, I think most of the dudes from last year are pretty bad on the Knicks. The Damian Dotsons and Alonzo Triers. And
Chuck just started pouring out for Lonzo Trier.
I liked him. I saw him in 3 games and he looked great.
Yeah.
And I did 1 minute of basketball reference research.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, I would like to see him with more minutes, and he's not going to get minutes.
So my steak and eggs is a team that often was referred to as having just a bad of a front office and ownership situation. As the Knicks, I love what the Chicago Bulls did.
Oh, yeah.
They got 2 of my favorite NBA players.
Seto.
Thad Young and Tomas Satoransky.
Yeah.
Those guys those guys both just know how to play basketball.
Garpax let the controller go into their 13-year-old kid's hands.
Yeah.
Oh, you think so?
He's doing the fantasy swaps
It's
now.
incredible. That team, I don't know. I like that little core. They can score. It looks like they can defend now a little bit.
I mean, that guy's got a 99 3-point shooting.
I mean, I'm a little sad that Sato went for just $10 million per year, and like the Wizards let him go. I mean, they worked out some kind of trade with this to not match the sign and trade, which we saw this year. It was like the first time I ever remember seeing like, you want Malcolm Brogdon? Cool.
Can you believe a guy who
give us some picks and
started over 50 games at point guard is only getting $10 million in this league?
I mean, what the thing about Sato?
Very telling.
He played fine, but I feel like he has that versatility. He can play. He can guard 2s and some 3s.
Satoransky's a useful player,
and he can hit open 3s. He's not a good. He's not like a primary initiator.
It seems like a failure that the Mavs didn't get him.
But
Seems like a failure.
I mean, honestly, I thought when the Mavs had Dragic, when they were going all Europa team.
Oh man,
I like those few minutes when I thought it was like all the bad guys from like Taken or something.
Right.
Just when they had them.
They were all in.
When they swapped it out for Olynyk, I was a little more disappointed.
They were all in Hydra.
I don't know what they need.
Something was in the air because I definitely watched Eastern Promises last night.
So, John, what's your steak and eggs?
So I am fine. It felt like the universe was conspiring against me. First, there was maybe the most impressive 3-year run since the Bill Russell Celtics. There was, I'm not gonna lie, this is a huge hit. The alignment with Rob Riggle and Holy Moly.
Did you watch it?
No.
Oh, it's so great.
No.
He plays a robot.
I thought I was never going to be free to root for who I think, to me, one of my top 5 favorite players to watch of all time, Steph Curry. And now, somehow, improbably, he's in an underdog role. I can squeeze my sausage into that sausage casing that is my Steph Curry jersey once more.
I thought you were talking
that
about
sentence went way different than I thought it was going to go.
Such a weird conflict.
I like the taste of my foot. I like the taste of sausage.
That's making me uncomfortable.
So the Warriors are now underdog role again.
Yeah.
I've gone all over mentally. I've gone all over the place with how I felt about it. When it was announced that they were doing this sign and trade for Durant,
right,
and bringing in D'Angelo Russell, my initial reaction was, this is awesome for the Warriors. I think this is objectively good that they, in their situation, like, all our guys are hurt. We're losing Durant, or Thompson's hurt. We're over the cap. We can't really go out and get anybody else. And it's going to cost a lot of money on luxury tax to bring in D'Angelo Russell. But just to make sure we don't, lose Durant for nothing,
well, I think
we're going to pay all the luxury tax we need. We're going to overpay D'Angelo Russell. We're going to give him a full max.
I think the scenario can be, you can paint this either way. You can paint this almost any way you want to very easily. But I think ultimately, the flexibility of the move and the different lines of play they can take to have a good situation out of this is good.
Yeah.
I think it is better than the alternative.
So
like the big downside is they lose guys like Kevon Looney.
But they might need him. Well, they obviously lost Iggy.
Right. Sure, but
they don't have a forward.
They don't have lots of things. They don't have a roster. But I mean, they're in a scenario like worst case scenario, they trade D'Angelo Russell. They could get like a great year out of this. Could be, you can paint a scenario, and maybe this is hokum. You can paint a scenario where D'Angelo Russell is just a stopgap for Klay Thompson for a year.
Yeah. Right. So that is, I think, the way a lot of people are reading this now.
A lot has to go into that.
So the Timberwolves and Karl Anthony Towns desperately wanted D'Angelo Russell. They were whining and dining him. Karl Anthony Towns kept going on Instagram and doing all these like loading screenshots. I could not ever figure out a way that the Timberwolves could clear up max cap space to sign D'Angelo Russell. Like I literally thought maybe
public execution of Andrew Wiggins
before the Hornets did that thing to get Terry Rozier. I thought maybe the Hornets would trade him some players, and then
that thing. To get
I
Terry
can't.
That unspeakable.
So I thought maybe the Timberwolves would stretch some guys, but I couldn't.
Terry Rozier is the bad guy from Harry Potter now. Cannot be named.
So I couldn't figure out how the Timberwolves could do it. So I think a lot of people who are looking at it from the Warriors angle are saying on December 15, are the Warriors going to flip D'Angelo Russell to the Timberwolves, who might still really want them, and get a Robert Covington and a couple of bodies, some live bodies.
This seems like one of those scenarios where that us as pundits and know-it-alls like create something that isn't really there.
Yeah.
We're just trying to come up with a way that seems to make more sense, because
this probably is the more like a lot of times the narratives are so much simpler. This is probably more of a simple narrative. Like, this guy just made his first All-Star team. Let's go get a young guy in case we have to rebuild. It's probably something that simple.
I think they're in full panic mode, similar to the way Miami was once LeBron left, and trying to do and piecemeal things.
Did you just finally admit that right now?
Oh, they went nuts. And then Chris Bosh got sick, and then everything. I mean,
culture question mark?
I'll culture the back of your throat. Mostly it's very similar to.
You're not going to use your Q-tip. You're going to use your penis. No. I figured it out. Dang it.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. But it's similar to me that what are you going to do? You've lost your best player. Now your second best player, your third best player is out for the year. What are you doing? And you got to figure out a plan. And they're like, we can't lose him for nothing.
Was this Kevin Durant sign and trade parting gift actually a poisonous pill?
That's what it. Yeah. So I feel like you could say this is the death throes of the Empire.
Could be.
They're in kind of a mess. If they did not do this, if they did not bring in Iguodala, they still could have probably kept Kevon Looney. They maybe still can. Well, they technically
Russell?
still can. Yeah. But they could maybe work out something with DeMarcus Cousins, which I don't know if that's a great idea.
I feel like this is an explicit admission of defeat on the DeMarcus Cousins experience.
Well, so to DeMarcus Cousins, his landing spots are drying up.
Yeah.
But he still
might come back.
No, he can't come back now.
He can't.
Because with the sign and trade, they're hard cap. They can't go over the.
Oh,
but they can't re-sign him?
The thing called the apron. They can re-sign him for less. Like they can't even pay him like the $6 million
that he made last
year. Like
year.
you can pay him like 20% over what he made last year.
That.
They can't even pay him that, and
he's got to go get a check.
So I mean, if they hadn't done this sign and trade, they could still pay luxury tax as much as they want.
Right.
But now they can't.
They're capped.
So I mean, it is.
They are going to. It feels have
like and then them sending a pick to make this deal happen.
Hell yeah.
Maybe it's just a very heavily protected first rounder that ends up just being like a second or something. But them sending the good first round pick to the Grizzlies to make it happen and another pick.
Delicious.
It seems like this might be.
The Grizzlies are sin eaters now.
This team's going to be old, man. This team is old.
We're just taxing the fat and the sinful.
And that also goes to this is unreal. I guess we should do it. Let's do our cream wheats.
Right.
The opposite of the best thing is the worst.
How many beers you had,
thing.
Zach? We're off the rails. 2-3 beers, 2-3 beers, Croatian beers.
The worst of
Zach
wheat,
Lowe
cream
here.
of wheat.
3 beers in.
Thing. What's the worst thing you
the
saw
Croatian
this
sensation
week?
Well, I should have made my worst thing.
Heat culture.
We haven't even talked about the heat, Chuck. What are you doing? Are you holding it in on purpose?
I don't know what to do. There's nothing. There's so much. Well,
Chuck's constipated.
I'm happy for both the Blazers and the Heat in this Whiteside deal. I think you get
both lose.
No, you get contract year Whiteside, who's going to play more than 20 minutes a game like you did in Miami.
The lose trade.
You gotta put some sort of stopgap in there while Torkic Nurkic gets better.
You had stopgaps. You had Zach Collins and Myers Leonard.
But those, I think Whiteside
went to the conference finals.
Better
you
rim
could have signed
defender.
Costa Koufos for the minimum.
They may have just.
But he's expiring. There's
a belief.
I think he's on an expiring, and he provides a lot more than people give him credit for on the floor when he's around the right kind of talent. He thinks he's the number one guy. He's not going to be on that team. He's got shooters. I don't know if you've seen the Instagram. They have shooters. That's what he needs. He needs floor spacing so they can't crowd him around the basket. And he never had that.
Chuck is gone.
Hey, he might be good.
Apologist to a Whiteside apologist.
I hate Hassan Whiteside in person, but I don't think he's a terrible trade for Miami. And I think Myers Leonard gives.
You know what this sounds like? This sounds like Chuck knows that his team just swindled the Blazers, and he's trying to talk the Blazers. He's like, no, I gave you something great.
They're 80% of our slack.
So the Blazers, I think the Blazers are still good. They're still a top 5 team in the West. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to shake out, but I don't understand how, and I've seen a lot of writers, pundits for these teams. Everyone seems so happy. They're so optimistic.
They're just glad to get rid of Myers.
I don't know. I don't know how losing. They lost Mo Harkless, Al-Farouq Aminu, who were their 3-4 guys.
Right.
They're bigger wings.
Key cogs.
They lost Seth Curry, who was a great shooter off the bench.
They've convinced themselves.
Evan Turner.
They've convinced themselves that this Rodney Hood thing wasn't fluky, and that signing Rodney Hood and being rid of Myers Leonard is better, supersedes than losing actual starters from a finals team.
Yeah. So
conference.
Objectively, it seems that retaining Rodney Hood for that very cheap amount is good. So you retain Rodney Hood, but to trade out Myers Leonard, Evan Turner, Al-Farouq Aminu,
dude,
Mo Harkless, and to bring in Bazemore and Hazonia and Whiteside, that's just it's a wash for me.
It's just they got rid of Evan Turner.
Okay.
The most torturous player to watch basketball.
Evan Turner and Rodney Hood beat the Nuggets for him. I mean, they both won 2 games.
I feel like you can lay that mostly at the metal of Rodney Hood, but Evan Turner, if you watch the Blazers a lot, which I do, I mean, he just kills them every time, at all times.
Evan Turner was pointing out
one of the most high-effort dinguses you'll ever see.
Because one of the Blazers beat writers was saying, like we've been elevated into the next tier with Nasir Little, and Hassan Whiteside and the other guys coming in, and Evan Turner was the first reply, and he was saying all like the 5 guys who left, he's like, we would annihilate those guys.
Yeah.
in a basket. Like in pickup. No, so
I probably wouldn't because Evan Turner would be playing.
Another team.
Anytime Evan Turner's on the court, I'm just telling you, I think Blazers fans, they're just excited he's gone.
So another team that's super fired up that I don't get.
Eagle is
I think
gone.
it's okay. Kings fans are acting like, and Kings writers
Gross.
are acting like they won free agency.
Kings offseason's horrendous.
They paid. I mean, not that the money's a huge deal. What they paid like $60 million for backups.
Kings offseason.
The Corey
is
Joseph
horrific.
signing is hilarious.
Yeah.
Corey Joseph, who set that record for the most consecutive games not scoring 5 points while playing over 20 minutes.
At the end of the Scooby-Doo episode, the Vlade Divac mask got taken off, and Vlade Divac was underneath the Vlade Divac mask.
So Dwayne Dedman was a guy I've talked about a lot. And I feel like a lot of NBA nerd people have been saying, like, oh, a good team's going to get Dwayne
but that
Dedman.
can't be the centerpiece.
So, like, $13 million. Dwayne Dedman has played over 65 games one time in his career. In I think it's 6 or 7 seasons, he's played over 65 games one time. So they're paid $13 million a season for Dwayne Dedman. You're paying $12 million for Trevor Ariza, who I guess is your backup behind your $88 million man Harrison Barnes. Like, I don't feel like this team is that. It's not that much better than last year's team. They're not clearly a playoff team.
They are built to
and they
win the Atlantic.
They loaded. They're not. The Atlantic is the death. It is now the razor blade. Rolling ball of butcher blades. Yeah,
I just like how
Chuck.
all the teams just trade within their division exclusively now.
So I don't know why the Kings. I don't feel like the Kings need to be discouraged because I think you can trade Ariza deal. The Dedman deal is fine. The Corey Joseph is an overpay. The Barnes deal is honestly, it's whatever. Like he
fits with them.
He can
I
do
think.
some stuff.
He's big and can defend a little bit and can score sometimes.
But my worst of week.
We got there, guys.
Oof.
We got there.
So you guys said the Knicks are the worst run. Who else were you saying was the worst run?
Don't remember. Don't think I've
Suns.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Knicks.
I'm Knicks.
Timberwolves?
The Charlotte Hornets are devoid of any hope.
Oh, forgot. They're so bad that they're
Abandon all hope,
irrelevant.
ye who entered
irrelevant.
here.
I can see the argument. Checkmate.
Yeah.
Keith just checkmated.
Yeah, they're bad. They're real
They
bad.
chose to have
On to B4.
They
Opening move,
chose to have their guy start their hometown All-Star game, overturn him into any number of assets. The Grizzlies have now gotten 3 first-round picks for trading Mike Conley. The Hornets knew 4 months ago,
He was gone.
hey, we're like $80 million apart on our contract offer, so we should probably trade you somewhere for anything. So they didn't do that. So they lost Kemba for nothing. That's one thing. They're like, all right, this team is now capped out. They're going to be real bad. They're going to be worse than the Knicks because of Wayne Ellington and Reggie Bullock. They're capped out, but they have these expiring deals. You know, like Marvin Williams is going to expire. Biombo's going to expire. Kid Gilchrist is going to expire.
Yeah.
They're like, no. We can work out a sign and trade to bring in Terry Rozier. You know what Terry Rozier shot from the field last year?
0.35%.
35%. Terry Rozier is
Close.
bad.
Yeah.
They paid him $19 million a year.
So here's my Terry Rozier. Maybe he just
Same
got.
Terry Rozier, Danny Ainge wouldn't trade for years.
Maybe he was.
PS.
Maybe he
Deal breaker in
was,
the Paul George deal.
Yeah,
PS.
no. Maybe he was like he wasn't given the proper oxygen for his blooming once Kyrie came back from injury and he got his swagger up after his little bit of a playoff run that he had after inevitably exploding a couple years back. But I don't know, maybe in the right system and he's the man and he gets the ball and he's been told that, hey, we're putting everything on you and they have to now with that contract. You got a good little, maybe a guy that could take a step and not be a bum.
They let Jeremy Lamb go. Jeremy Lamb
That's insane. Jeremy Lamb's like a good signing.
Jeremy Lamb
So
signed
good.
for he also shot like he did not shoot over 40% from the field, did he?
I like him though.
Jeremy, I mean, we did lose Lamb and Bacon.
Lamb and
He does
Bacon.
look like one of the kids from The Wire.
And he's
yeah.
but he'll be great in Indiana. I think he'll
Jeremy Lamb got paid half
right.
of what Terry Rozier got paid.
Man.
Their backcourt, $45 million for a combined 18 points per game between Terry Rozier and Nick Batum.
Baller.
And Michael, their starting lineup could be Terry Rozier, 38% field goal percentage. Nick Batum, 45% field goal percentage. MKG, 7 points per game.
Player coach.
I mean, and then you got Marvin Williams. You got Cody Zeller.
I was about to challenge Chuck and I to a game of scones where we had to name the starters for that team, and we were going to fail.
You guys know who? I mean, you guys know specifically who gave that contract to Terry Rozier?
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
No. Who's Michael Jordan paying to do this?
Frank Kaminsky.
Union
leader.
The same man who gave Luol Deng and Timothy Mozgov the deals. Kupchak on the stroke of free agency in 2016. Mitch Kupchak is back.
Man,
he turned Kimball Walker and Jeremy Lamb into $20 million a year for Terry Rozier. This team has nothing.
Sleeper agent Lakers.
They do have a guy named PJ Washington.
Mitch Kupchak, sleeper agent for the Lakers.
But this goes back to what we were saying about front offices matter, because you could have said in an honest and fair assessment that the New Orleans Pelicans up into a year ago were the worst team of the past 5 years. I mean,
the Pelicans are so sexy.
Favors and Redick around those young guys.
I hope they get new jerseys. I love them. So please get new jerseys.
And a king cake baby on the front of the jersey. But Memphis too. Memphis for a decade had historically laughable,
fighting out the butt,
laughable front office moves. Now, one off season, it looks like they've honed everything. The Knicks are 2 decades into being dummies and making really bad. Maybe not 2 decades, but since Patrick Ewing and Allen Houston left,
they more like 4.
Yeah, Starberry and Steve Francis, and just bad decision after bad decision. And now it's the front office is all that matters, I think, in the modern NBA.
If Anthony Davis stayed, could the Pelicans have gotten? Let's see, they wouldn't have had they wouldn't have had the 4th pick.
Nope.
Could they have still gotten Derek Favors and JJ Redick? Could it have been?
Who cares? That's not the reality we're in.
Could it have been Drew Holiday, JJ Redick?
Oh man.
Etuan Moore, Anthony Davis, and Zion Williamson?
I mean,
come on, man.
As you guys both
and Derek Favors and the extra bench. Come on,
all I
man.
see when I look at that roster is you're starting JJ Redick. Your team is bad.
Well, he doesn't have to start.
He's not starting on this team.
Lonzo
now.
Ball and Drew Holiday can be your backcourt.
He better not start.
No,
actually.
but he's a great 6-man instant offense. Floor spacer. Etuan Moore is going to have to be on the floor too a lot for him because they don't have much
anymore. You have Brandon
Ingram.
So I mean, you can start Brandon Ingram at the 3.
I think you're going to need spacing around Zion.
Addition by subtraction, Julius Randle's gone.
Julius Randle. I mean, Derek Favors, that's like...
He's a good player.
Why couldn't the Knicks sign him?
They could have.
It would have been better than Taj Gibson or...
Well, so I
Georgia Tech players don't go to the Knicks anymore.
I guess there's a chance they could have claimed him because the Jazz were going to waive him. One of the funniest tweets, I saw some Jazz beat writer who was like, Derek Favors and his agent have been communicating back and forth with the Jazz about the Bojan Bogdanovic signing and what it means for Favors. Bruh.
You done, bro.
Yeah, you got dumped, dude. What do you mean what it means? What it means is there's no more spot.
That's like seeing the girl you've been talking to put "it's complicated" on her Facebook.
That's a funny thing about how situational everything is in the NBA.
Guys, breaking news.
What we got?
The Golden State Warriors have retired Kevin Durant's jersey?
What?
That's hilarious, right?
I hate sports.
My God. Show some class.
Show some
balls. He just railroaded you, and LeBron doesn't have his jersey hung up in Miami. Learn from
Miami's mistakes.
Cold-blooded franchises. Why don't you? I think that is actually from like if I'm thinking.
Wait, I might have spoken too soon. Okay. Did Brian Cardinal wear 35 on the Warriors?
I don't know.
He did. So if it's for Brian Cardinal,
did you
retiring old and Polynice's number?
Did we? This is Anthony Randolph. Is that his number?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm tweeting.
Anthony Randolph, Spanish League MVP.
Yeah. So
Spanish League superstar.
Okay. See, now my whole thing is over. After was that a fake tweet, Keith? Were you?
No, it's not. No, it's real.
Real? They retired 35.
I'm tweeting. Hang on, dude.
I'm still the guy who falls for Woj _ESPN _ Hey, dumbass is the fake account underscore.
I one time.
Oh, great. Marcus All traded for.
I one time followed a Magic Johnson parody account.
Yeah.
Drunk, but
Just
forgot.
assumed, yeah.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then I was going through. I was like, man, Magic Johnson, he's more astute than he usually is. And I look at it as a parody account with better takes than Magic Johnson's.
Jeannie and I just saw Toy Story 4 and fornicated. That seems real.
Oh man.
Safe sex only.
So the Warriors were falling apart. Where were we?
That's going to be my worst thing. We've
what's
only
your worst
focused.
thing, John?
My worst thing is that all of our focus right now, and it's mostly my fault, is on all of the horrible, horrible franchises.
Yeah.
We should be highlighting some
Winners.
one of the great turnarounds and quick turnarounds in franchise history, like the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Like this is a team that had nuked the fridge very recently.
Got Prokhorov
with Danny Ainge, and they're going to be like a hugely financial and perhaps on-court success story very, very soon. And were last year. They have done 2 different kinds of rebuilds in consecutive years. The only thing they've lost is the hipster awards.
Word on the street, though, is Kawhi is talking to Magic over the phone.
Uh-huh.
And if Magic Johnson...
Which account are you following? Which Magic account?
Quit. Hold on. Let me see where my reports... Let me quote. Let's be journalists
Magic
here.
Johnson's
This is
a
Yahoo.
bulletproof monk.
Yahoo, Chris Haynes. Sources. Free agent Kawhi Leonard will not meet with prospective teams, but he did take a phone call with Magic. If Magic brings Kawhi to the Lakers and he quit just so that he could tamper, I think it is the greatest thing in the history of basketball.
So it's really weird that it's illegal for Kawhi to meet with Magic Johnson in an official team capacity. Like that's illegal, but I guess if it's a phone call, that doesn't count as an official.
I don't know the rules.
This goes to the tampering stuff where no one knows the rules.
I don't know.
I don't
either.
understand.
Is Magic getting paid Bitcoin by Jeannie Buss? Like, is he still working and just had to? Hey, man, you're costing us too much money by being on our payroll.
I mean, Magic could
in
buy
fines. Could he? He's already stretched a little thin.
Bought the Dodgers.
Yeah, but that's one. He's already knee deep in LA sports debt.
Trade in that equity.
So the biggest probably news of Sundays, like you said, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving teaming up on the Nets. They crafted some space out for DeAndre Jordan because he's a fun guy to hang out with.
Yeah, that had to be like that. He had to be part of that cocktail.
He was just their buddy.
He was the simple syrup that makes the cocktail work because he got overpaid.
Oh.
But you can't be mad about that because apparently he was a crucial component of all this happening.
So here's the thing. I was won over last year by the Nets.
Sure.
I could not resist the hipster draw.
Of course.
Of praising Sean Marks.
Oh, dude, just wait till you get to watch Joe Harris at the 4. Go ahead and lube up.
What?
Joe Harris at the 4.
So,
Yeah.
I think there's a chance. That the Nets have now completely short circuited their rebuild again.
That's fine. Get a good pick.
You're taking a big
good
swing. Gamble on KD.
I'm still working this. I'm still working
Look,
this.
Mr. D'Angelo Russell sucks. Which side are you on?
Spencer Dinwiddie's all right.
He's good.
Karis LeVert's pretty good.
Dinwiddie's got the best.
So
facial hair.
so you're giving a full max to Kyrie Irving, who may be insane,
It's definitely insane.
No, he's for sure.
who wants to live in New York,
He's going to buy a warehouse and 600
Coke
people
brain.
are going to
Yes.
live with him
Yeah.
in
who there's
Bushwick.
been a lot of reported concerns about his party habits.
Yes.
He loves
You're
the
giving a
schneef.
full max to Kyrie Irving.
But you get that KD.
Okay, so all right. So you're saying, well, I get a KD. So you're paying KD $38 million not to play next season.
Which means you're probably not going to make the playoffs.
Gleefully.
When he returns, he will be 31 years old. So you're paying 4 years for 3 years. You're paying for KD.
He drinks the blood of Christ, and alcohol's never touched his body.
And 33
He's prison
years
young.
of KD. So we don't know. Like maybe KD ends up being just 7 foot Klay Thompson, which is a really good player.
Oh.
Right.
But you're paying
7'2" shooting from 40 feet. Sign me up.
So if you're paying, like think of your age 30 Deron Williams.
Keith,
Deron
I'm
Williams.
sorry Rodion's Karooks had to die so KD could live.
You also have signed DeAndre Jordan for 4 years for $10 million.
Which seems
Who's
to
not
be the key
good.
to the whole
It's
thing.
the key. It's the price for getting
he can help
and
get
the cover
Jared
shot.
Allen's froze
Kyrie-
down into those braids,
What does
bro.
You know what it is?
Charge to get into the bubble party. It's fine.
Yeah, no. DeAndre knows how to grow psilocybin mushrooms,
What's
and
the
they
bubble
need
party?
the bubble puts the foam party.
Foam party.
Okay.
It's a bubble party.
Got it. No, I'm here. I'm with you. Yeah, sometimes you gotta bring Uncle Grandma along.
That is,
You've never been walking down the Vegas Strip at 4 a.m. and just see a bunch of people with foam on them,
Yeah, no, it does happen.
all dressed up.
Y'all go to Vegas. I don't go to
I
Vegas.
assume they paid a cover for that to happen.
They probably did.
That hat.
You got to come. You got.
I just saw.
You just saw
Chuck's
my hat.
So
It says "Enjoy Coke" and it's cocaine white. I'm sorry, painting a picture.
So I mean, yeah, the Nets probably have to do this, but also this is the Nets team that doesn't have draft picks.
Right.
They might be as good as they were last year. They might not be.
No, I think they'll be better than last
Taurean
year.
Prince isn't very good.
But he's
And he's gotta play a lot.
But he doesn't have to do a lot. He's not going to be required to do much on that team, and he can play that stretch four that they need while KD's getting better.
Teams will be hyped up to play the Nets.
Yeah.
Is this a Bill Simmons take? So it'll be harder because teams will be prepared for them.
Yes, they'll circle the Nets on their calendar.
Circle the Nets on the calendar.
How do I say this? Your take seems stupid.
I'm just saying the Nets win all in. They're not going to be good next year. They might be a 5, 6, 7 seed.
So they'll be
In 2 years,
Keith, a little better.
Are
Keith,
they gonna
let's
be
go-
amazing?
Let's go over why they're not going to be good. Because they lost a player that you think sucks, right?
That wasn't. It's not an either or.
But they're not.
Okay,
They're not
there is
replaced,
more
but they are
nuance here.
replacing that player with another player, and they didn't lose too much else by signing KD. Other than what? I mean, putting KD on injured reserve for a year,
putting KD
doesn't
on the
hurt
bench
them hard.
doesn't do much.
Other than not allowing them to get better this year.
Right.
Outside that,
If Karis LeVert's healthy all this coming season, then they should
right.
be better.
And if Jared Allen takes a step and DeAndre can fill,
Got to
and
take a step back so he can braid DeAndre Jordan's hair.
Right.
But I think they're a better team than last year. I think Kyrie's better than D'Lo, and you'll have they'll probably be a 6 or 7
If
seed.
if Kyrie plays how he's played the last few seasons, yes.
Mm-hmm.
If he keeps going forward, if you want to buy in on, did I want to pay this guy a 4-year max salary? Is this who I want to hitch my franchise to?
Outside of Kawhi, is there anything better they could have done free agency wise?
I don't know.
That's it. No,
Seems-
that's it. That's it. Like signing and
I
trading.
think Keith and his long, luxurious hipster beard
Yeah.
is just very upset that the most hipster team and all my Nets friends are definitely of two minds because the hipster team is dead.
you guys are now.
Well, no, so I-
Now you have the fake hipster Kyrie running
Hey,
the
I
show.
still love Nets went a decade. They're going to go a decade without using their own draft pick.
kind of incredible.
And they've done full rebuild
Right.
again.
Like top to bottom.
But how many?
And they have the coach everyone thinks Brett Brown is too, by the way.
After the KG Garnett trade, where they win like 8 playoff games.
Yeah.
So how many years did they win
Chuck's
8
wearing
playoff
an Enjoy
games?
Coke hat, and Keith's wearing a Bonnie Prince Billy shirt, and I'm wearing a Lakers Fletch jersey.
Yeah.
We're the worst hipsters ever.
Yeah.
We're just really sad
We're
that
just
the
on brand
hipster
today.
team is dead.
This is a shirt by Dan Lebitard's brother.
Oh my God!
yeah.
Jeez.
Yes,
We really got we got to up that Patreon, guys. We got to get to the video Patreon.
Yeah,
video
you guys
show.
are missing out how awesome we look, and it would make Keith clean this table up a
I
little
just
bit.
think,
No, he wouldn't.
man, this table was clean like 3 weeks ago. And it's already falling back apart. I'm just saying it's not an overwhelming. It feels like a walk-off home run. I feel like it's like, well, we'll know in 2 years.
Sure.
If it's any good.
Yeah, I mean, but it's going to take KD a year to get back to where you know what he is, maybe, because Achilles are,
Right, that's what we're saying.
They're
Like
not
he's going to be a 31-year-old 7-footer coming up in Achilles
Look,
tear.
I saw
Could be
two
Dirk.
WNBA players talk about how easy it was to come back from their Achilles injuries just the other night.
Oh, good.
While the same said WNBA player missed 18 shots in a row on Papa Shot and freaked me out. So I'm team Achilles.
Trying to
ruined
decide
you.
if we cover. I mean, there's so much.
Derek Rose. Derek
Let's
Rose
bounce
in
around all the
Detroit.
weirdness. Yeah, I feel sad.
We haven't even talked about the Sixers, the most slam
We should do
dunk
that. So
insane.
let's scatter,
yeah.
covered, smothered.
The
smothered,
Sixers,
covered,
that defensive lineup, if they can get Jay Rich, Horford.
Guys,
We
I don't know who I don't know who plays for the Sixers.
Okay, so right now Horford is officially signed, but that's dependent
Does
on
Jimmy Butler play for the Sixers?
He is currently on the Sixers roster.
I think it's fair to say
There's all these
that Jimmy. I think we'll go insane.
Is Josh Richardson on the team?
No,
Not yet.
No. We're going to say yes.
Please
The
help.
Si-
We're
gonna
the
call
Si-
help,
the
help.
Sixers- The Sixers have Ben Simmons, Josh Richardson,
Yes.
Tobias Harris,
Yes.
Embiid, and Horford.
Right.
I just filled my pants.
Imagine your team, where like Tobias Harris is your worst defender, and he's not a bad defender.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
He's not.
And you pair that, he's like one of the most offensively
And the three
efficient players in the league.
Your top four can defend pretty much all positions. I mean, Embiid can't guard.
Horford's gonna be
a
old.
point guard. Horford is old, but this next year, he knows. Everyone in the NBA knows this is a year with Golden State being in disarray. This is your chance. Maybe LA can't put together a team around AD and LeBron. This is the year. And if he's on that team,
Daryl Morey has to look at the Sixers and just get sick to
oh
his
my
stomach.
goodness. The Sixers are incredible.
So
if that's their roster.
Who made these moves? We don't
Tobias-
even know.
Elton Brand.
the brand?
Tobias Harris
Brand is
last
strong.
year turned down a $80 million, 4-year, $80 million extension.
And now he's a billionaire.
Made $180 million.
Yeah.
He made $100 million for turning down that
Baller.
thing. So
He's the reverse George Lazenby. He's a genius.
we have to, Chuck, we have to talk about Jimmy Butler, the Heat trading Josh Richardson for Jimmy Butler.
Right.
This feels like an awful deal for the Heat.
Yes.
Jimmy Butler almost revamped his value because of how good he was in the playoffs.
Yeah, they could have done this last year.
Are the Heat going to be in the playoffs? Did they need that playoff closer?
I think all the teams that were in the playoffs last year, short of Boston, are going to be as good or better than they were last year.
Right.
The Bucks might take a little small step back with Brogdon being gone, but overall,
Probably not.
Overall, I think Giannis takes another step. If that's
Twin
the
magic.
case, I'm betting on Detroit being worse because they don't look like they're doing anything else.
I'm not worried about Detroit, but yeah,
But they're a playoff team.
That's who you're battling.
That's
with.
who,
I got
and
you.
they lost
I got
Wayne
you.
Ellington, and you guys know Wayne Ellington was the difference in Miami's and Detroit's playoff luck last year.
I'll say that 8th seed is looking like a real destination.
Orlando just signed another forward for some reason.
Orlando.
Idiots.
So I don't know if
What is Orlando doing?
they just signed Vucci.
They brought their same team back, and like Alfred Camino's a good player, and they got him on a decent contract.
Mm-hmm.
But when you already have Aaron Gordon and Jonathan Isaac and Bamba and Vucevic,
I really thought Marc Gasol stoning Vucci Main was going to ruin him.
I thought he was going to run to the Western
yeah,
Conference.
I did too. I was like,
So I was hopeful for the Heat to take a step. I think Jimmy Butler gives them that go-to guy we didn't have last year in crunch time moments.
No, that's
Miami
good.
lost a lot of games by small margins last year. They shot 69% from the free throw line. You're coming in a guy like Tyler Hero. Nice. Tyler Hero comes in from the NCAA shooting 93%. Jimmy Butler can shoot a little better. I think they got a chance on the margins to become a 7 or 8 seed.
it's great.
Your point was disqualified when you mentioned a
Tyler-
rookie.
Tyler
You
Herro.
mentioned Tyler.
I know.
No, so
I'm trying here.
we-
Well, also losing Whiteside, who shot 55 or
Hey,
60%
Chuck,
from.
are you drowning or waving? I can't tell.
we did a podcast about this at the trade deadline.
Right.
Not at trade deadline. 8 months ago, the Jimmy Butler trade.
Right.
We said, would you? Because that was the trade. The Heat could have gotten Jimmy Butler from the Timberwolves.
And Chuck said no.
Well, at that point,
because the reason we said it then, Josh Richardson is a young guy. His first 4 years almost match up exactly with Jimmy Butler's first 4 years of a guy who just got better and better and better and better. And it was a big leap to say he would make the same leap that Jimmy
Right.
Butler did in like his year 4, year 5.
Right.
But like their numbers were similar. You thought if some guy might, it would be a guy like Josh Richardson. And now you already had Josh Richardson under contract. Josh Richardson over the next 3 years is owed $32.6 million.
such a
Jimmy
deal.
Butler is making $32.7 million next season.
So what's happening with this is you have the prospect of Josh Richardson becoming something else, but that needs to occur. I think a guy like that and a guy like Jimmy Butler became Jimmy Butler because of the weird experience in Chicago where he was thrusted upon the lead role for that offense, and he became Jimmy Butler. I thought that was what was going to happen in Miami with Josh Richardson. It didn't. He never took the reins. He was never like the guy who was like, all right, I'm going to be the man on this squad, and maybe that was because of how he was used by Spoelstra. I don't know. But right now, he is not as good as Jimmy Butler.
No.
He is the fourth best. Him being your fifth best offensive weapon for Philly is better
That's awesome
than
for
him
Philly.
being your third best offensive player
No.
for Miami.
I love this deal for Philly.
Yeah. Philly looks great. Miami gets a scorer.
Even though Butler was he was their go-to guy.
He was.
He was their go-to
He
guy.
was
in the
their
playoffs.
man. He was their dude. What you expect Embiid to be next year with another
Their
mango
offense
season.
will be better without Jimmy Butler and with
think
these
so?
with players like Al Horford.
I don't know
Yes.
who runs the pick and roll.
I'm
now.
nervous about the
Check
Sixers
this
offense.
out. Embiid getting stuck outside with the ball at 3-point line. That can be Al Horford now.
Yeah.
But I still think that's it.
But
I think teams are going to be able to stop them.
Yeah, I think offensively they might have some problems unless Embiid turns into Hakeem.
Yeah, who cares? Score on him.
next
Try
year.
Just look at where the
yeah.
Heat where the
But you
Heat
can't score
are
on 'em.
as a franchise.
So
Where they're like
I'll tell you where the Heat
they're like
are.
a mid-30s win team.
When I bought
the Jimmy
Chuck-
Butler makes no sense.
When
to me.
I bought Chuck his Miami Heat Vice Knights jersey, the choices of names that I could put on it were as follows: Josh Richardson, Goran Dragic, and Hassan Whiteside.
I just thought-
that's where Chuck's team is.
if Pat Riley is 44, he does not make this deal in my mind.
Right.
This is the trade of a man who's in the golden.
I don't
the
think
golden-
he's-
74. He's like, what am I gonna do this 3 more years?
I don't
This
think
is Tiger
he's-
Woods injecting
This
horse serum into his
Yeah, like I don't.
knee.
Where the team was, where the Heat were as a franchise, it seems like you keep Adebayo, you keep Winslow, you keep.
You know what this
Richardson.
is move?
Right.
You know what
Those,
this move
those
is?
are 3 guys, all very, very
Chuck,
good.
you know what this move is? Botox.
It is a little bit, but I think,
botulism in the face.
I think they chose who their guy was going to be. And last year, from watching the Heat play, the one player that stood
Josh
out,
Richardson,
the
you're
2
right.
players that stood out on that team for me as like, okay, they flash superstar potential. Josh Richardson doesn't. To
No.
me,
Yeah.
he flashes solid,
Real good potential.
real good,
Yeah.
5th best player
Right.
on a great playoff team.
Right. I agree.
Winslow has the ability, and if they can get rid of Goran, to be a ball handler, to be a 6'8"
That's the weirdest
brick
thing.
fullback running your offense, and that may be the new.
Seems like a very long shot bet.
It is, but they watch him, and he has
I'm
progressed.
hoping your boy Bama Potato makes a leap.
Bam looks good, but he could be in Brad Beal trade talks, and maybe Goran goes there
What?
for him.
So John, now there's this weird because they got to find something.
Do that.
That's what I
Yeah,
want.
right.
I
Do
want
that.
Brad Beal bad.
So now they got to get rid of Dragic,
But-
which doesn't make sense to me. One, the Mavs I thought should take Dragic instead of Olynyk. Taking Olynyk makes no sense. They're paying
Right.
Powell to be a backup big,
Right.
$11 million a
They
year.
give him a lot of
They're
money.
paying Kleber 13 or was it $9 million a year?
But Olynyk can stretch.
Every hipster does.
I
It's
love it
crazy.
Yeah,
so
Kleber's great.
much.
He's become like
Let
the
me
number one
throw out some
player.
block stats concerning Maxi Kleber.
He was Dirk's blood boy last
So-
year.
Maxi Padden stats.
I don't. If this team loses Dragic, they look like a 40-win team again. Maybe Dragic is done. But like
I don't
assuming
think
Dragic,
so.
is
He's
still 80%.
unplayable on defense. Him and Whiteside were our biggest defensive liabilities last year. You couldn't those 2 guys defending the pick and roll was absolute nuts, and they couldn't. They were real liabilities. You couldn't play them together, and those are your 2 highest paid players on the team. If you can get rid of Whiteside,
my God.
you've got 2 dudes who are coming in who can play a little switchy, who can play multiple positions and do a little bit different basketball stuff. If they can get rid of Dragic, I would even pull back on Jimmy Butler now and try to focus on Brad Beal. Just like maybe trade Richardson for.
There's no pulling back, right?
No, I'm saying everyone's talking about this Brad Beal thing, and you're not getting Brad Beal
not gonna
without
happen.
getting John Wall's contract because the Heat have no
but-
assets. They're
We don't have
done.
anything. I mean,
they can't-
James
they just
Johnson.
I think the
literally
Heat should take John Wall's contract.
No, but they can't. They
They
literally.
can't.
I don't think they can.
I mean,
match
they could do Dion. They could do JJ.
Dion, JJJ.
They can do Goran.
That's like 27. That's like what? That's 46.
It's like a third of it.
That's like a bit of Beal and Wall. It's still, and because of all these sign and trades that are so confusing.
yeah.
Like there's the base year compensation, which I won't even get into. That's not our
that
podcast.
doesn't even-
It's funny how sometimes the sign and trades keep you from being able to just go nuts with over the luxury tax.
That's the point.
it's just like
That's literally. I mean, that's why the league did it, so teams couldn't shirk the luxury tax
that
that
was
way,
embarrassing.
or the salary cap that way.
That's why that rule's there, John.
Breaking Woj, Wes Matthews going to the Bucks.
Ooh, I like
I
that.
thought the Bucks kind of were. For a second there, I thought the Bucks were cheaping out.
Wes Matthews is
but then
pretty bad.
when they paid George Hill, I kind of like what the Bucks did, and obviously bringing together the.
you're not a
The
you're not a
bro lie.
Brogger Dogger fan like me.
The bro lie.
Let's talk
Brogdon.
about the
I'm a
Pa-
Brogdon
So
fan.
how do you? The Pacers had a weird free agency.
Yeah, because I
mean-
really like Thad Young, and they,
So they let
went the other
Thad Young
direction.
go. They got T.J. Warren for free from the
That's cool.
Suns, but then they signed Jeremy Lamb for a good contract, and they paid the huge contract for Malcolm Brogdon and traded a first round pick and 2 seconds to accomplish that. Their roster makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Like I guess Brogdon starts and Lamb is the 2.
Ooh.
And
I mean, they're waiting for Depot.
they're waiting
to
for
come
Deep,
back.
but even when
Here's
Depot
their
gets
plan.
back, it's very strange.
Brogdon gets fouled every single play, makes every single free throw.
My plan would be trade
72 points a night.
Trade
whole team.
Sabonis at the peak of his white value.
Yeah, they're gonna.
This was the year 2020.
They're
White
going to
power.
try. Yeah, they're going to. They weren't successful playing Sabonis and Turner together last year, and that seems like what they'll have to do this year.
I'm trying to decide if there's anything else we should mention.
What else we got? Let's see.
We'll probably wrap up.
Yeah.
I mean, everything.
Chuck
happened.
Raps, go.
A
Everything
1,
happened.
a 2, a 3, a 4. Chuck's rapping at the front door. What in the butt? Sorry.
I hate the Pistons now.
Uh,
I hate the
We can let's just do a pact to not talk about the Pistons.
oh, can
anymore.
I tell you something? Why? I mean, Udonis Haslem is making $1.5 million. He should not be on the Miami Heat. I don't know why he's on that team. Can we get rid of him? I love you. Go ahead. You should have retired with Wade. Why are you still playing?
No, I can't talk about it anymore.
Please.
I will say the Sixers, much like I want to, why couldn't the Pelicans just keep Anthony Davis and bring in Favors and
Yeah.
Redick
If you
and
say Redick,
Zion?
I'll kill you.
Like, I wish the Sixers could have traded Butler for Josh Richardson and kept Redick,
Oh,
and
wow.
then still had cap space to sign someone.
How
I
many
don't
times how many
love.
times you have to watch a guy get
I don't-
played off the court?
I don't love the 4 years. I don't love the 4 years for Horford at that price.
Man, he's so
I mean,
good
you're
come
saying
playoff time.
Redick played off the court. They were 3 bounces away from maybe being NBA title.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a Sixers deep fan fantasy. I don't
Yeah.
agree with it.
Well,
but
they
were
shouldn't have
very
traded
close.
Markelle Fultz
They
then.
were very close to beating the Raptors. Markelle Fultz, who will not be playing Summer League. I don't know what the Magic are doing. The
Yeah,
Heat
we need
are
to par
weird
fade away
and
all
fun.
summer.
I'm looking
Yeah,
at,
what
I'm
we doing
looking
on
at
Summer League?
every team. Oh, Cleveland has done nothing as they sit around. The Knicks with all the team.
I forgot the Cavs existed.
No, they don't. They really,
the Mavs
really don't.
are going to be all right. The Pelicans and Grizzlies have amazing futures. The Pelicans might be real good this year.
Pelicans
The
might be really good this year.
The Timberwolves might be bad. The Lakers are waiting on Kawhi. Sac Kings are a very highly paid 9 seed again.
Sac Kings.
The Clippers, they paid a lot to keep Pat Beverly.
They did.
And they are. It's all waiting for Kawhi. Oh, should we talk about the Jazz at all?
Oh, the Jazz.
They have Conley and Bogdanovich. They have high hopes. I think they're
I think it's
pretty
gonna
good.
So what, I was going to get into Bogdanovich earlier in the show, but we got it ended up not coming to fruition. That's a signing that taken if I don't know anything. I'm like, ugh, terrible.
Right.
But for the Jazz,
He's old.
they need that player.
Okay.
They need that kind of player. And if Bogdanovich is the guy you have to get, they're already better at scoring just through Conley. But what happened to the Jazz is that they just can't score on anyone once the good teams are all that's left.
Right. That'll be the Sixers now.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. They do have. I mean, they have that offensive, all that firepower coming in with Conley and Bogdanovich. They don't have a real good 4 anymore. Their defense is, I think, going to suffer a good bit because Mitchell and Conley are short.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess they went for it. I don't think they're.
Isn't like Joe Ingles? What?
Joe Ingles.
Joe
Ingles is like he's
is he a poor man's Bogdan?
No, I mean very different games, but
they just need more.
He can't really play for.
I just want to see. Mike Conley run pick and rolls with Spider Mitchell. I think those would be fun to watch. And him and Gobert, he'll be throwing lobs to Gobert.
Mike Conley, fun fact, never thrown a lob in his entire career.
Is it true?
To the Grizzlies,
we always
only
say
having Gasol
he's
and
terrible
Randolph.
at throwing alley
Is he? Maybe he just didn't have the right catchers.
The Grizzlies are going to break their alley oop record this season. Probably
In 1 year.
In 1 year, all previous 19 years.
Stromal Swift is the Grizzlies who
added
lost
together.
the most.
The Rockets, Daniel House they kept, and Austin Rivers, and they're like hanging around there.
That was a sweet dig, Keith.
The Trailblazers, their fans are kind of happy. I think they'll be good again. But
Evan Burner Turner, RIP.
the Nuggets, I don't understand these extensions They gave Jamal Murray a full max extension already.
39 years old.
Why are
You understand the Nuggets. The
Jamal
Nuggets
Murray.
are the luckiest team in the world.
But why do I don't understand?
They pan
why
for
you-
gold.
I don't understand why you sign max extensions a year before you need to extend people.
I guess because the hope is that this will look like a deal later.
It's
I
like
don't know.
best case. No, there is no deal. Best case scenario, he lives up to that contract. He's never outplaying that contract. I don't.
Are they
think.
scared someone will take him?
You have restricted rights. I don't understand. This is the whole mess that everyone seems to get into is extending guys early, then they get hurt, falls apart.
It's like
John
a
Wallace shoe.
it's like a thank you. It's like
Anyway.
thank you for being so hot and cold in the playoffs that our dreams lived and died.
I hope
with
we
you.
mentioned your favorite signing, dear lister.
For the OKC fans, Abdel Nader.
Oh!
He just got
Big ups.
and Mike Muscala, the Muskogee from
Ala Abdelnaby?
Muscala, the Okinawan Muscala. There's something there. I feel like there's something there.
we can do it. We'll workshop
Got to
it
workshop
later.
that. Par
Yeah.
fadeaway. I mean, I'm going to Vegas on Friday.
I'm going on Vegas on Monday.
Oh, also, Summer League starts today.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all knew that.
And it's
I didn't.
John, the Grizzlies played at night.
so I'm really excited.
Noted.
I'm really excited to watch.
I'll be watching Monday Night Raw,
A
I
little,
guess.
is Ja going to be in summer league?
No.
Okay,
Ja's
so-
not playing. None of the guys who got
Zion
traded
guys, yeah.
can get.
Zion playing.
No, not till coming the Friday. On Friday.
Okay. So yeah, so we got summer league's going to be great. Basketball, blah blah blah. I'm going to the Puppetry of the Penis, which is a big show where two dudes who are naked. Me and my girlfriend are going to go. It's not just me, but they go and they do puppetry with their dicks.
Little Nikola Jokic.
Yeah. So it's like a cool, like I'm going to see the Puppetry of the Penis. They make hamburgers out of their genitals. They use the meat. and then-
Hamburgers?
yeah, they use the meat and then the nuts are the two buns. It looks great.
Incredible. Keith,
Yeah,
will you be doing penis puppet
I
pie?
hadn't planned to. I'm gonna have a.
You should come, Keith.
I'm gonna have a fast break breakfast meetup on Saturday morning. We'll have breakfast.
I won't be there.
Yeah,
You should
Chuck-
do the
Chuck
pepper
won't-
mill.
Chuck won't be there. We're gonna go somewhere fast. Last year I went to a diner that was called Breakfast.
Keith, there's a Hattie B's in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Just
make
I
it.
think it's in the Cosmo.
I will be
Just make it
meeting
so.
at 4 a.m. on Monday.
Is this Sunday or Monday?
Tuesday,
4 a.m. Tuesday,
July
Monday
9th. Monday night, I will be at the Taco Bell at 4 a.m. blasted out of my mind on all sorts of drugs.
Fourth meal with Chuck.
You'll come get me. Think outside the box. Have margaritas there.
You can
I'll be
live
there.
my life and see the most dichotomous experience. Go have breakfast with Keith and then have
You should.
Yeah,
breakfast with
If
Chuck.
anyone out there is in Las Vegas, don't be shy. Slide in the Twitter DMs.
Yeah. Come say hi.
We will be at the gym. We'll be hanging out.
Yeah,
the,
I will.
the unapproachable member is not going.
Yeah.
John is the least approachable of the three of us. Yeah.
You guys, if you're out there listening and you have extra tickets, Chuck's going to need tickets
So what?
to the games.
I'm gonna scalp like I did last year. That whole economy there
It'll be
is built
fun.
on scalpers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want
Don't
you
worry
in
about
there.
me.
I want you in
Also,
there.
if I
worry
don't
about you.
go, the story of me not getting in is just as good as me going. What do you want me to do? Give you insight on rookies and their playing
It's gonna be
style?
It's gonna
Absolutely.
be fun
Come on.
watching Zion.
I
I'm
know.
like literally nervous about just getting in the actual gym with
When
my ticket.
Zion.
Those little shut down the Thomas and Mac.
Watch
Anyway, it'll be
Ooh,
good.
Watch me.
If
Watch
you want
me.
to support
Ooh.
our show, do that at patreon.com/fastbreak. Breakfast, write us a 5-star review on iTunes. Why don't you? You can follow us on Twitter. Chuck the Mighty Chuck.
Yo.
John Master John Burr.
Stop that.
I tweet about basketball at Fast Break Break. All right, you guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Yeah, never apologize for being G&G. Fair break, man. You understand?